So for today's look, I'm going to be using my newest Guerlain Ombres G, which is going to be Metal Butterfly. But before that, as you can see, I'm not really wearing any other makeup, so I figured maybe it's fun if we do the whole makeup look together. Sorry, I was just looking for my eyeshadow base. I'm going to take my Inglot eyeshadow primer, last bits over here, almost done with this. And then we can just do the whole makeup look together, because I know a lot of you enjoy that. I was considering only doing snappy, like just eye look videos, but first of all they would be quite short because I don't really tend to do very complicated looks with my Ombre G quads. On the contrary, I bought them with the idea that I'm going to do really simple things with them. And second of all, I do often use them in conjunction with my liquid eyeshadows or with toppers from Pat or from my Bobbi Brown palettes. So it will be a bit of a mishmash of things here, although I think today we're really just sticking to Metal Butterfly. Next, for foundation, I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade 2N1. I'm going to have rather a long day today because I have a dinner date with a couple of colleagues, so I want my base to be as fuss-free and as long-lasting as possible, and I know that I can always count on my Estee Lauder foundation. That's not to say that my other foundations don't perform great. I have to say the Prada foundation performs really beautifully, and only like after 10 hours wear or something it starts to like slip and slide around, and I have to be a bit more careful. But I feel like with the Estee Lauder foundation there is a smaller chance of that happening, and I really don't want to, especially in the evening when we're sitting at the dinner table, consciously be like checking my face to see if something has started to look a little bit nasty. So I'm going to go in with my tried and true Estee Lauder Double Wear. For my concealer, I'm going to take the usual suspect, the Dior Skin Correct concealer in the shade 1N. Oh, speaking of concealers, because obviously I've been using this one pretty much non-stop for the past year, and I can imagine that at some point it will be finished, and I do want to replace it, but I am also very tempted to try the Chanel Lumiere something, I don't know, the one that comes in the square pot and that costs 100 euros. Because I saw Martina use that concealer on camera, and I have to say I don't think I've ever seen her under eyes be more beautiful than in that video. And I know she has relatively difficult under eyes as well, and obviously, you know, lighting in your videos and that kind of thing can make a huge difference, but I do find that since her lighting is rather consistent, and I can see from video to video how her concealer works under her eyes. I mean, if you watch her videos, you know she does much more complicated steps underneath her eyes. She conceals, she corrects, she mixes concealer, that kind of thing. I can't really layer things underneath my eyes too much because I get a lot of texture if I do that. However, like I said, that Chanel concealer looked so incredibly beautiful under. I'm going to now take, by the way, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, another tried and true. But because I actually loved how the concealer from Chanel looked underneath her eyes, I was considering buying it. Now, unfortunately, they're not selling it in retail stores here. You actually have to buy it from the Chanel website, and that's really the only place that I've been able to find it. I've not yet considered something like Vinted, which might be a good idea because this is really expensive, but then I would have to think which shade to match myself to, and I would have to be rather certain that, yeah, well, it's the kind of concealer that comes in a pot, so it's not exactly a super hygienic one. So I'm not really sure how to approach this, but I am very tempted by it. So if any of you have used it and have opinions on it, please do share with me. What do you think about this concealer? And knowing that I have very difficult under eyes, would you recommend it for me? I'm gonna quickly do my brows with the Too Faced Laminating Brow Wax, but I think I'm just going to speed through that because honestly, not very exciting. I'm going to take Desert Glow from Pat McGrath to bronze real quick. I think I'm going to stick to Pat for the rest of the face products, blush and highlighter as well, because I've been focusing a lot on my other, especially the Hermes things that I bought recently, and I've really been missing my Pat McGrath products. So today we're doing Pat McGrath on the face. And of course the extra added bonus that Pat's products last so incredibly well on the face. I mean, the other ones do as well, but these just, they don't go places. Alright, next I'm going to grab this beautiful blush here. This is Electric Bloom. It's a gorgeous shade. Obviously you need to be really careful with the amounts that I apply. So I'm just going to take like a little book here on my brush. And I'm going to start applying small increments so I don't start looking like a bozo all too fast. I love this blush. It is so vibrant and so like enlivening on the face. And it's going to go really well with my lipstick. Because I already know I want to wear Je ne sais quoi from Lisa Eldridge, one of her Lucents. Because I've been looking forward to using that a little bit more since I bought it. When I bought it, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was not fully aware of the fact that it's like a straight up coral shade. And then I put it on in the video where I first tested it, and I was like, oh, this is actually just a straight up coral. And I don't really wear corals much in the winter months, not because I think there's anything wrong with wearing a coral any time of the year, but because I don't necessarily think that it just fits the vibes of the rest of my, you know, makeup and clothing especially. So I was kind of savoring Je ne sais quoi for the warmer months. And today is the official first day of spring, even though if you look outside you can't really tell because it's so freaking gray. But I'm going to make it spring on my lips. And finally, to highlight, I'm going to take the Divine Rose highlighter, also from Pat, because that is just a match made in heaven for Electric Bloom. By the way, I just saw that Pat is releasing something, and it looks like from people's comments it will be a pink under eye powder, which I wouldn't necessarily call a very exciting release. I don't know why one needs to make such a big fuss about a pink under eye powder, but okay. I guess she's due for some sort of a spring release, to be honest, because usually around this time of the year we have gotten the blushes and the bronzers and the quad. So I'm assuming she's due for an announcement for like a big spring release anytime soon, and I'm holding my breath for what that's going to be. The only like thing that she really doesn't have in her line yet would be cream bronzers, so maybe. I'm going to set the powders on my face using the Airbrush Flawless setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury on my sponge here. And let's get started on the eye look, which, as I said, is going to be extremely simple because first and foremost there are only 4 eyeshadows in here. It's not like you can do that much, and especially in the case of Metal Butterfly, a lot of them are like super different tones from each other. Like these 3, they go very well together. Arguably you can make combinations of the other ones as well. I think the gold and the pink might look really nice together, but I haven't really tried that. And today I'm actually going for a very simple look. Initially I was just thinking of putting this all over my lid as a one and done shade, but then I realized that I really like to have a little bit of definition here in my lashes. So I'm going to take this beautiful dark brown shade. I've talked about the architecture of these Guerlain quads before, and I really love Metal Butterfly for containing all the 3 different types of textures that they feature in their baked quad line. We have this like more latexy creamy matte over here, the 2 satins, and the beautiful sparkly topper. That is basically going to be my one and done moment in a little bit. But for now I will do my usual, that you have already probably gotten tired of technique, which is pushing those like really dark shades in my lashes over here. And I've talked about how much I love the textures of these like latexy matte eyeshadows. They are difficult to pick up on a brush. You need to have a really stiff brush. If you pick up something that is too like soft and flimsy, you're not going to be able to pick a lot of product up. It's going to pick up very unevenly and you're not going to have a good time. So if you want to work with the texture of these eyeshadows and actually enjoy it for what it is, which is this beautiful blurring soft focus buildable beast, then you're going to need a quite stiff and dense brush in order to pick up enough product. But if you have one, as you can see, it is not a problem at all to work with this texture. Okay, next I'm going to take some sort of a fluffy type of brush, and I'm just going to take this one from Zoeva. It is like a rounder fluffy type of brush, and I'm going to go into this beautiful toppery gold here to apply as my lid one and done moment. I'm first going to apply it dry, and then I'm going to apply a tiny bit more over glitter glue because I want it to be really impactful. but I love the texture of these big Guerlain eyeshadows. So this series has a bit of like a bittersweet feel to it, because again, we are saying goodbye to a texture that I don't think they're going to bring back. Now that they haven't made one of these baked quads for like a year, and given what has happened to the baked formula from Pat, I'm assuming we're not getting any more of the baked Guerlain quads. I don't really know what's going on. Has the price of these eyeshadows gotten so ridiculous that brands are like, no thanks, next? I wish I knew. I wish I had an explanation for this. Grabbing a tiny bit of NYX glitter glue now, I'm just going to apply a tiny dot here on the back of my hand. Then I'm going to spread it out using my finger. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit. I'm going to first shove it in my inner corners for the inner corner highlight, and then take whatever is left and just gently dab it on to the moving lid to apply the gold shade. Just using my fingers, and I'm going to apply for a tiny bit more impact. These shades are so unbelievably lightweight on the lid, they're beautiful. I will shine an artificial light on it later. I did turn on my ring light now a little bit because it's also quite dark outside. I don't know whether you're really able to see how beautiful this gold shade is, but it is also an eyeshadow that I was wearing once in a video, and a lot of you were asking me what I was wearing, and it was literally this one eyeshadow. So next I'm going to clean off the pencil brush on which I had the really dark shade, and I'm just going in with like a random champagne gold highlighter. This is the Dior one in soft nude to apply as my inner corner highlight, because the Metal Butterfly doesn't really have an inner corner highlight. And I just thought of a really fun way to complete this look. I'm going to again clean off the pencil brush that I had before, and I'm actually going to apply a little bit of the orange shade here on my lower lashes. I would usually go for the just like the dark brown to complete the lower lashes, but today I figured, since I'm wearing je ne sais quoi, like a coral, I think that the orange would be a beautiful, nice final touch to this look. I'm going to tightline using a dark brown pencil. This one is just from Essence. And finally, I do actually have an orange liner. This is a really old one from MAC that I don't believe they're selling even anywhere. It's like a really bright tangerine orange, but I think it might look really fun here in my waterline, so I'm gonna go for it. And I'm going to also set it with the eyeshadow, because otherwise it's going to leave the premises very fast. I love these MAC pencils. I have a couple of those in this specific packaging, but they are not the most long-lasting ones. And I'm going to use the pencil brush again to just like very lightly set the powder in my waterline. Time for a little sparkle moment. And finally, as promised on the lips, I have the Luxuriously Lucent from Lisa Eldridge in the shade Je ne sais quoi, which is a beautiful classic coral shade. There's quite a bit of a pink tone going on in here, so I don't necessarily know that the orange was such a great idea, but I still very much like how the final look turned out. It is very nice to wear a Lucent again, because I haven't really worn any of my Lucents in the past couple of weeks, because I've been testing all these luxurious lipstick that I bought from other brands, and I had just forgotten what a pleasant experience these Lucents are. They're just amazing. Also, if you are interested in that, I actually have a whole video where I swatch and rank all of my Luxuriously Lucents from Lisa Eldridge, which, if I don't forget, I'm going to leave up in the cards for you to check out, where coincidentally I'm actually wearing the same gold eyeshadow, FYI. Anyway, I'm going to get going to work now. I hope that you are enjoying this little week of Guerlain Ombres G quads. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know if you have any thoughts on the Chanel concealer, as we discussed earlier. And we will see each other again very soon. Bye!